Hello everyone and welcome to my video lecture. So I have started with the topic organisms and population, and I have already uploaded a lecture on the same. That was the first lecture on the topic. Now continuing forward, so today we are going to learn about two important aspects, which are habitat and niche. Okay, if you are watching this video and if you have yet not subscribed to my channel, kindly do so, share it with your friends. Okay, anyway, coming to today's topic. So today we are going to learn two terminologies, right? The first one is called as habitat and the other one is called as niche. So let me write down the heading habitat. Now what do you mean by the word habitat? See, it's a very simple word. The physical place where an organism lives, that is called as a habitat. Okay, it is the surroundings in which an organism lives. Okay, these are the surroundings to which the organism has to adapt so that it can survive and reproduce. Okay, so it is basically the home of that organism, and that is called as the habitat. So I hope that is clear. Coming to the next word is called as niche. Niche. Now this is a slightly difficult word to grasp, so I'm going to use as many examples as possible. Okay, now when you talk about a niche, suppose if somebody asks you that can you define a niche, then you can say that the functional role of an organism in its environment, it can be called as a niche. Now what do you mean by the functional role of an organism in its environment? See, what is the role of that organism? What is it going to do in the environment? How is it going to survive? How is it going to capture its food? How is it going to build its shelter? How is it going to interact with other organisms? How is it going to interact with abiotic factors? All these things, these are all the functional aspects of the organism, and these are called as niche. So you can define it as the functional role of an organism in its environment, that is called as a niche. Another definition, you can say that the position of an organism or the rank of an organism in a given environment is called as the niche. See, when you talk about these things, for example, when you talk about how will the organism get its shelter, how will it get its prey, so you are going to collect data, and based on all that data you are going to assign a rank to that organism, right? Where is it standing in the environment, whether it is a higher ranked animal, it is a lower ranked animal, whether it is an intermediate ranked animal. All this will come to know because of the niche. Okay, there are many different kinds of niche. For example, obtaining food, that will be one type of niche. Finding shelter, that will be another type of niche. Adapting to the environment, that will be another niche. Okay, so all these are different types of niche. So niche, if you want to write down, I will write it over here. So it is the functional role of an organism in its environment, right? Or the other definition, so this is definition number 1. Definition number 2 is the rank or position of the organism. So it is the rank or position of an organism in its environment. So I hope this is clear. See, whenever we are talking about habitat, we are talking about the physical factor. It is the home of the organism. But whenever I am talking about niche, it is not a physical aspect, it is a functional aspect. What is the organism going to do to survive, to reproduce, to get shelter, to hunt, to interact? Is this clear? So habitat can be called as the physical aspect, niche can be called as the functional aspect. Let me write down the definition of habitat. Okay, it is the physical place in which the organism lives, right? And each organism has to adapt to its environment, it has to adapt to its habitat, right? Now there are many different kinds of habitat: terrestrial habitat, aquatic habitat, then there is something called as arboreal habitat. Arboreal habitat is the habitat for all the organisms which are basically producing their shelter on trees, right? So examples of aquatic habitats, if you want to study: river habitat, okay, pond habitat, lake habitat, then there is sea habitat, ocean habitat. So I hope this thing is clear. It is the place where the organism is living physically, that is called as the habitat. Now let us discuss something more regarding niche. So I'm just going to scroll this. Now whenever we talk about niche, what is going to happen is there is going to be an energy transfer from one organism to another. Now let me tell you, I already told you that one of the examples of niche is how the animal is going to hunt its prey. Suppose if I am talking about a tiger, right? Then how is the tiger going to get its food? By hunting its prey. That is also called as a niche, right? So what is going to happen is when the tiger hunts a deer, say for example, then when it consumes the deer, the energy is going to pass from the deer into the tiger. So there is going to be an energy flow. Similarly, if I say that herbivores eat producers, right? Producers are your autotrophic plants and herbivores are the animals which feed on them. So whenever a herbivore, say for example a deer, feeds on grass, the energy is passing from grass to the deer, right? So please remember, in a niche there is always energy transfer from one animal to the other. Is this clear? Let me rub this off. Let us write some of these points. See, it is very important to understand the word niche because it is a difficult word to grasp if you are studying it for the first time. So first point that I'm going to write over here is there is always going to be an energy transfer among organisms. Now, what happens when the organism dies? See, if a particular organism dies, say for example that tiger which I was talking about, it dies. So the niche is left vacant. But what happens is another organism of the same species replaces that tiger. So there will be another tiger in the place of the tiger which died earlier. And what will be the niche of that new tiger? It will be the same. See, when I am talking about animals or organisms belonging to the same species, their functional aspects are going to remain the same. See, each tiger living in a population is going to hunt in the same way. It is going to find shelter in the same way. It is going to adapt to its environment in the same way. It is going to interact with its surroundings in the same way. So in short, can I say that all the organisms belonging to the same species have the same niche? Yes. So that is the point that we are going to write, that each species has, sorry, I should be writing that each organism of the same species. So each organism of the same species has the same niche. So if I'm talking about 3 tigers in a population, all the tigers will have same niche. But now if I want to talk about 2 different species, let us compare a tiger and a lion. So there will be a difference in the way a tiger hunts, there will be a difference in the way the lion hunts. So now both of them are having a different niche. Similarly, if the tiger wants to find its shelter, it will have a different way. If a lion wants to find its shelter, it will have a different way. So again the niches are different. The way in which both these animals interact with their environment and other organisms, that is also going to be different. So in short, when 2 or more organisms belong to different species, each one is going to have a different niche. Is this clear? So let me write down that point over here. Each organism belonging to a different species has a different niche. So I hope this is clear. Whenever the organisms belonging to the same species, or if I'm talking about a population will have a single niche. That is the same niche for everyone. But if I am having two different populations, that is one species over here, other species over here, both of them will have different niches. Is this clear? When species are different, niches are different. When species are same, niches are same. And a niche will never be vacant, it will always be replaced by the organism belonging to the same species. Is this clear? Now what happens is most of the organisms, okay, now most of the new species which are evolving, they are very similar. There is not much difference. So what happens is the niche also becomes very similar. Now if the niche is similar, then the competition increases. Just think, if you are having a common prey, then your niche is same, because you are going to hunt for the same animal, then the competition will increase. If your niche is different, if you are hunting for different animals as prey, then the competition decreases. So what happens is most of the new species which are evolving, they are developing their own niche. For example, let us talk about the birds. Okay, suppose if I am talking about birds which are present in our country. Okay, there are three kinds of birds. The first kind is the example of birds who feed only on insects. The second is the birds which feed on fruits and grains. And the third, these are the type of birds which feed on all of these. So now each of them is having a different niche. I hope you are getting this. See, they are not very different from each other, all these three type of birds. They are very similar, but they are having a different niche. So they have adapted themselves and they have created a slightly different niche so that the competition decreases. Just imagine all these birds eat the same thing. Suppose all of them eat fruits or all of them eat insects. Then the competition will be so much more. There will be less amount of resources. So the survival factor will also decrease. So that is why most of the species, they adapt and they create new niches, they modify their niches so that they can stay in the environment and they can reduce the competition. Is this clear? So I hope this concept of niche is clear. It is the functional role of an organism in its environment, or it is a rank or position of the organism in the environment. Okay, so how it hunts, how it finds its food, how it is finding its shelter, how it is interacting with biotic abiotic factors, how it is surviving, how it is reproducing, all these things, all these functional aspects are called as niche of the organism. I hope this word is clear. Now the last part for today or this lecture is going to be different types of niche. So I'm going to rub this off. Right. So yeah. So types of niche. Please remember, this word niche is both a singular as well as a plural word. Don't write down niches. Don't add that s. Okay. Now, the first type of niche that we are going to study, that is called as the spatial or the habitat niche. Okay. Second type of niche is called as the trophic niche, or it is called as the trophical niche. And the third one is called as multi-dimensional or hyper volume niche. These are the three types of niche which are present. Now pay attention. Coming to the first type, which is your spatial or habitat niche. See, when I am talking about the habitat of that particular organism, that means that I am talking about its habitat niche. Spatial niche is how much space does that habitat occupy. So it is the same thing. Okay, spatial niche, habitat niche is the niche of the organism with respect to its habitat only. We are not considering any other factors. We are only considering where is that animal physically staying. So that niche is called as the spatial or habitat niche. coming to the second type of niche, which is the trophical niche. So I'm sure you must have heard about the different trophic levels, right? So if I draw a food pyramid over here, let me draw one quickly. This is the food pyramid, right? At the base, the organisms which are present, these are called as the producers, right? The producers are all the autotrophic organisms like plants which prepare their own food. So these form the base of the food pyramid. Above the producers are present the consumers, right? And the primary consumers are also called as the herbivores. So let me show them in yellow color over here. So let me write down over here primary consumers. Primary consumers are the herbivores which feed directly on the producers. Above the primary consumers are present the secondary consumers. So I'm going to shade that area with blue and I'm going to write down over here secondary consumers, right? And at the top of the food pyramid are present the tertiary consumers, right? They are on the top of all the other levels. So over here I will write down tertiary consumers. Now if you want to represent the same pyramid with the help of actual examples, let me write it down over here. Let me write down grains over here, right? Over here let me write down mice. Over here let me write down snakes, and at the top let me write down eagles, right? So grains are consumed by a mouse is consumed by a snake, and snake is consumed by an eagle. So when we are representing the organism, when we are trying to say in which trophic level, see, each of these are called as trophic levels. Producers is one trophic level, primary consumers is one trophic level, secondary consumer is another trophic level. So each of these is called as a single trophic level. Okay, so when we say that a particular organism belongs to, say, primary consumers, so we are saying that it is belonging to that particular trophic level. Say, suppose if we say eagles belong to tertiary consumers, so again we are telling, or we are representing in which trophic level that organism is present. So when we talk about the trophic level of that organism, that is called as trophical niche. Is this clear? When we talk about the physical place of an organism in which it lives, then that is called as the habitat or spatial niche. When we talk of where the organism is present in the food pyramid, in which trophic level it is present, it is called as a trophical niche. Now coming to the last type, which is called as the multi-dimensional niche. Now multi-dimensional niche is basically a niche where we are taking all the different factors together. See, in habitat niche we only took the habitat into account. In trophical niche we only took the trophic level into account. However, you take all the other different types of niches together: hunting niche, building shelter niche, interacting niche, adaptation niche, all the different niches of a single organism, when you take together, then you get one large niche which is called as the multi-dimensional or the hyper volume niche. It has got all the different factors which are making all the different niche. So it is not a singular component. Please remember, habitat niche is a singular component. Trophic level niche or trophical niche is a singular component, but multi-dimensional, many factors, many niches, or hypervolume niche is a complex niche which is having all the different biotic and abiotic factors and its functional aspects. Is this clear? So these are the three main types of niche. I hope they are clear. Now again we have two different types of niche based on the presence or absence of competitors. That is going to be the last part of our today's lecture, right? So let me write down the heading: niche based on the presence or absence of competitors. All right. Now, there are two types of niche when we talk about competitors. Okay. there is something which is called as the fundamental niche, and there is something which is called as the realized niche. Now please pay attention over here. This is very, very easy to understand. See, whenever I don't consider the competitors, such a type of niche is called as a fundamental niche. For example, let us take the example of a wolf. All right. Now, if I am thinking about the wolf's niche, right? How is it going to survive? How is it going to build its shelter? How is it going to hunt? All these things. But suppose if I think of that without the competitor, see, each organism has its competition. Wolves are going to have other wolves. They are going to have other carnivorous animals like leopard, tigers, which are going to be a competition to them. And these competition will make it harder for the wolves to survive. But when I don't take the competition into consideration, I behave as if there is no competition. I behave as if that wolf doesn't have any competition from any other organism, then such a type of niche is called as a fundamental niche. It is not a practical niche. It is just a theoretical situation. It is like you giving an exam, okay, and thinking that you don't have any other competitors. That means you are the only person who is giving the exams, you are getting the marks, that is it. No other student is giving the same exam, so you don't have any competition. When I talk about that, that is called as a fundamental niche. So there is no competition which is considered in this. So it is not a realistic situation, because in a realistic situation, every organism is going to have its competitor. However, when I talk about a niche and I take into consideration the competitors of that organism, it is called as a realized niche, which is a realistic niche. For example, now when I am talking about the wolf, I am also thinking, okay, the fox can be a competition to the wolf. The leopard can be a competition. The bear can be a competition. So this is a practically realistic niche, because in real life, there is always going to be competition. So I hope you understand the difference. Whenever we remove these competitors from the niche, such a niche is called as a fundamental or a theoretical niche. Whereas when we add competitors and then we talk about the niche, it is called as the realized niche, which is the practical niche. So let me write down over here. This is without any competition, right? So, and this is with competition. Obviously, if I am talking about the fundamental niche, then it will be very, very easy for the organism to survive, because the competition is not there. If I am talking about a realized niche, it will be difficult for the organism to survive, because there are many other organisms which are going to compete with that organism for survival, right? Because the resources are also going to be shared. So I hope this difference is clear. So total today we have learned 5 types of niche: spatial or habitat niche, trophic level niche or trophical niche, multidimensional or hypervolume niche, and based on whether the competition is present or absent, fundamental or realized. I hope this meaning of competition is clear. Competition means from similar type or same type of animals, you are going to survive in the environment. So you are going to share your resources with them. So it is going to become more difficult, right? So that is called as competition. So that ends our lecture for today. So in today's lecture, we studied what is habitat. We learned its definition. We studied niche in great detail. Okay. We saw a few examples, then we saw types. So that ends our part. All right. If you like this lecture, please leave in a like. Please put in a comment. Share this video and my channel with your friends. And do subscribe if you haven't still. Thanks a lot.